What's it like across the pond right now, man? Give us some info.
My man, I think you said that beautifully. It was well said. I do want to say before I talk about what's across the pond, touch on what you were just kind of saying. I was talking to my mom the other day, kind of talking about how, kind of myself personally, like if I get it, I don't think I'm that high of risk. Like it's not that big of a deal. If I get it, the death rate is so small for the
Sure.
people under 50 years old, let's say. And she was talking about how, there are these instances with, you have people that are 28 years old that are dying from this disease. You have people that are in their around my age, 22, 23, that are dying.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, it's such a small case. And she was like, it doesn't matter if it's one person in the whole world. Like that is so fucking sad and like depressing that is happening. Like you shouldn't just be like, oh, it won't hurt me, so it's not a big deal. Like it probably won't hurt me, it won't kill me, but it's
Mhm.
still a big deal because people are dying. Just my 2 cents because you were talking about it right there and I wanted to talk about it. So
No,
Luxembourg.
yeah, absolutely. No. Sorry, go ahead.
No, so yeah, Luxembourg, we just entered in starting this week into our kind of biggest lockdown since the start of the pandemic. So
Wow.
I am a month off of being 23 years old, and been living at my parents' home for 9 months now. So it's
Hey,
not an
same here,
ideal
brother.
situation.
I feel you. I feel you.
um, but lockdown when I first came here was intense, as it was everywhere. It lightened up for the summer. And then there's, I think there was kind of this misconception that was somewhat spread that, it's like, oh, summer, it's going away, it's going to go away, it's going to
Heat.
disappear. Yeah, the heat's going to
Heat.
kill it, the booze
It's
is
gonna
going to kill
melt
it.
it.
Like, and it's just not the case. It's back. I mean, it never really left, but it's running rampant. Luxembourg, so we just shut down big time. Only 2 people allowed over at somebody's house that are not family members. We just shut down
Oh
restaurants
my
and
God.
bars, cinemas, and we were advised by the government to kind of not leave the house unless it's essential,
Yeah.
are the biggest measures that I've seen taken since the initial one.
Right.
It's only gonna be in place for 3 weeks, but I think even today we had, I think, around like 800 cases, new cases. Like it's and Luxembourg is not a big country. I mean, like this is a lot of people getting it for a small country.
Right.
And I know that Luxembourg's not alone in that. Luxembourg really follows. That's the cool thing with a lot of these European countries. They have independent governments, but they're all operating under the EU for the most part, so they can kind of bounce their ideas off of each other. So you see one, it's kind of like Luxembourg. We're so small, so we see France or Germany take measures, and the government hasn't announced anything here, but like we knew this lockdown was coming, a week or two before because Paris
Right.
had done it, Berlin's doing, Holland and Belgium are doing it. So there's really kind of like this. It's funny though because there is this fear, but at the same time, there's not as big of a fear, it seems, publicly as like the first lockdown. Like people know what's coming, people know what it's gonna do.
Right.
Um, so I see a lot of these articles from American news sources that are like, it's a shit show in Europe, like everything's going to hell, and it's like it's really not the case. Like I actually think it might be worse in America right now.
I very much think it is because I was trying, I'm trying to find now, like, say what you want about the Washington Post, but like John, I trust the Johns Hopkins study, but I also tried to pull from BBC this week because I feel like they're completely impartial. And to be honest with you, like a lot of like the, especially like post-presidential election and pre-presidential election, like who knows who's really telling the truth in America anymore? You know what I mean, man? Like, and maybe
Yeah.
I'm just wearing a tinfoil hat there, but like,
I,
I don't know. It's
I
it like go ahead.
I just, well, kind of on that, I just think it's a shame that a virus, something that's killing people, has been politicized. Like, I just don't think this should be a political issue. I just think it's like, it's clear there are people dying. Like, regardless of if you don't think you're going to die, regardless if 95% of people are surviving, we still have 5% of people dying. Like we just haven't seen stuff like this. Is not like a common flu. Like, people are not dying like this from the common flu. People do die from the common flu, not like this.
And the fact that they're even being compared is ludicrous,
Yeah.
in my opinion. So great. Well, this is a great segue because what I wanted to talk about, and I'm not getting into presidential election stuff, but what I found important while I was watching the votes come in is they would put up exit polls. And one of the exit polls that I saw during this coverage was they asked, Americans, what did they think the most pressing issue facing the country was right now? and 49% said the economy, over to 48% saying that they thought the coronavirus pandemic was the most important issue affecting America. Now, this is definitely from a small pool. Every exit poll I see has probably got like 15,000, 16,000, recorded answers. But, at the same time, how, man? Like, how? I don't understand. Like, it's exactly like you said, man. This is literally an invisible killing machine that we cannot see. And we're still focused on now, I'm not saying we shouldn't be focused on the economy, but the economy is going to run just as great as it ever did as soon as we eradicate the coronavirus.
So hearing those numbers, that's why
Am
I
I,
was
am I
hearing that.
wrong? Like, you know what I
Well,
mean? Like,
I'll play devil's advocate for a second. I almost think
please do.
you almost answered the question, like the point that I'm going to say in that. But I think people that were saying the economy is a bigger deal or sense like that, we're almost seeing the economy, and maybe they weren't at all, and I'm just talking for them, but the economy and coronavirus as synonymous in a sense that like they're both major issues. Like the economy is terrible right now. I don't think anybody doubts that I think a very few percentage of people think that we can save the economy and let the coronavirus keep going as it is. Like I think a lot of people the majority of people are understand that coronavirus needs to be addressed. At the same time as addressing that, the economy needs to be addressed as well.
Around the world.